this is your girl Wakeji Kamore, and welcome to Reflections by Wakeji Kamore. Alright, so we are continuing with the book of 1 Kings chapter 6 today, which I'm going to be reading from the NLT version. Today I'm going to be reading verse for verse. It has about 38 verses, so stay with me until I finish. If you're here for the very first time, please remember to subscribe and to please click the notification bell. But as however, you have been here for a while, are you sharing this content? Are you sharing this Bible summary with anybody else? Or are you consuming by yourself? Ask yourself those questions. Anyway, asante sana for being here. Let us get into the word. So 1 Kings chapter 6. The subtitle is Solomon Builds the Temple. Finally, kazi imeanza sasa vizuri. It was in the mid-spring in the month of Ziv, during the 4th year of Solomon's reign, that he began to construct the temple of the Lord. This was 480 years after the people of Israel were rescued from the slavery in the land of Egypt. The temple that King Solomon built for the Lord was 90 feet long, 30 feet wide, and 45 feet high. The entry room at the front of the temple was 30 feet wide, running across the entire width of the temple. It was projected outwards 15 feet from the front of the temple. Solomon also made narrow recessed windows throughout the temple. Why were they narrow? Why were they recessed? Question mark. Verse 5 says, he built a complex of rooms against the outer wall of the temple, all the way around the sides and the rear of the building. The complex was 3 stones high. The bottom floor was about 7.5 feet wide, and the second floor was about 9 feet wide, and the top floor was about 10.5 feet wide. The rooms were connected to the wall of the temple by beams resting on ledges built out from the wall, so the beams were not inserted into the walls themselves. The stones used in construction of the temple were finished at the quarry so that there was no sound of hammer, axe, or any other iron tool in the building site. How wise! Taki makelele kwa the temple of the Lord, hata kama tunajenga. The entrance to the bottom floor was on the south side of the temple. There were winding stairs going up the second floor, and other flight of stairs between the second and the third floors. After completing the temple structure, Solomon put in a ceiling made of cedar beams and planks. And as already stated, he built a complex of rooms along the sides of the building, attached to the temple walls by the cedar timber. Each story of the complex was 7.5 feet high. Then the Lord gave this message to Solomon. Concerning this temple you are building, if you keep all my decrees and regulations and obey all my commands, I will fulfill through you the promise I made to your father David. I will live among the Israelites and will never abandon my people Israel. The temple interior. So Solomon finished building the temple, and the entire inside, from the floor to the ceiling, was paneled with wood. He paneled the wall and ceilings with cedar, and he used planks of cypress for the floors. He partitioned off the inner sanctuary, the most holy place, at the far end of the temple. It was 30 feet deep and was paneled with cedar from the floor to the ceiling. Oh, this sounds like it was all like wooden inside. This is great. The main room of the temple outside the most holy place was 60 feet long. Cedar paneling completely covered the stone walls throughout the temple, and paneling was decorated with carvings of gourds and open flowers. He prepared the inner sanctuary at the far end of the temple where the Ark of the Lord Covenant would be placed. The inner sanctuary was about 30 feet long, 30 feet wide, and 30 feet high. He overlaid the inside with solid gold. He also overlaid the altar made of cedar. Then Solomon overlaid the rest of the temple interiors with solid gold. He made gold chains to protect the entrance to the most holy place. So he finished overlaying the entire temple with gold, including the altar and that belonged to the most high place. So this thing imejengwa na mawe, ikakuwa paneled na mbao, alafu ikakuwa overlaid na gold. Like, what is this? What are we talking about here? This is some great building. He made 2 cherubims of wild olive wood, each 15 feet tall. Let me tell you guys, because now I've been working with wood, I can tell you olive wood is beautiful. Like just olive wood itself. Oh my goodness. I've bought it from Gong Road, and let me tell you, olive wood is beautiful. It has like red, uko ndani ni reddish, and then uko nje ni like whitish. Oh, it has such beautiful pattern. It is so beautiful. So he says that he made those cherubims with wild olive wood, each 15 feet tall, and placed them in the inner sanctuary. The wingspan of each of the cherubim was 15 feet, each wing being 7.5 feet long. The 2 cherubim were identical in shape and size, and each was 15 feet tall. He placed them side by side in the inner sanctuary of the temple. Their outspread wings reached to the wall from wall to wall, while the inner wings touched at the center of the room. He overlaid the 2 cherubim with gold. So on top of the fact that he has used olive wood, by the way, which is very expensive as well, he's now put gold on top of the olive wood. He decorated all the walls of the inner sanctuary and the main door with carvings and cherubim and palm trees and open flowers, and he overlaid the floor in both rooms with gold. From the entrance to the inner sanctuary, he made double doors with wide olive wood with 5 side doorposts. These double doors were decorated with carvings of cherubim, palm trees, and open flowers. The doors, including the decoration of cherubim and the palm trees, were also overlaid with gold. Hey, me, I would have wanted to see this temple, to be honest. Then he made 4-sided doorposts with wild olive wood for the entrance to the temple. There were 2 folding doors of cypress wood, and each door was hinged to fold back upon itself. These doors were decorated with carvings of cherubim, palm trees, and open flowers, and all overlaid evenly with gold. The walls of the inner courtyard were built so that there was 1 layer of cedar beam between every 3 layers of finished stone. The foundation of the Lord's temple was laid in mid-spring in the month of Ziv, during the 4th year of Solomon's reign. The entire building was completed in every detail by mid-autumn in the month of Bul, during the 11th year of his reign. So it took 7 years to build the temple. Wow. That is basically the end of that chapter. And that is, oh my goodness, that is something. First, one of the things that I noticed that it took Solomon 4 years to start building the temple.